Hi everyone, this is Dr. Jane with another episode of A Planet Among the Stars, and today I am coming to talk about a big week that we have going on right now. We have our first eclipse of 2023, we have our first retrograde of 2023, the sun is changing signs, so we've got a lot of big shifts going on. And so I wanted to talk to you a little bit about all of these different energies and how they're going to interplay with one another, and also how you can leverage them, right, for your growth, your progression, to get closer to the life that you want to be living. And so, definitely the star of the show this week is the big eclipse. And so remember that all the eclipses are also going to coincide with a lunar event as well. So it is a simultaneous internal and external world experience, especially solar eclipses. So we do have a solar eclipse this week, and which means we also have a new moon this week happening simultaneously because that's how they work. And so remember, the moon is our inner world and the sun is our outer world, but the sun is also the power source, right, for all of the whole system. And not just, for the biosphere, the biosystem, as I'm surrounded by plants that are all powered by the sun, but also the energetic system of our planet, right, is the sun is our source of light, our light source. And so its power is going to filter through everything, is going to touch everything, and it also does represent our kind of outer world, our manifest world. And so solar eclipses are particularly powerful because they do encompass both a new moon and a moment of solar darkness as well. And so, new moons are always going to be that union point, that juncture between end and beginning, how the end of one cycle opens the door to a new one. And so new moons are always going to carry that energy. And so when we have a solar eclipse, which comes in conjunction with the new moon, it is like, it's like a new moon on steroids, right? Because now not only are we going to be having an internal death and rebirth that always comes with any new moon, but externally we are going to be temporarily cutting off that light source, right, from the sun. And it's very much, I make the comparison very much to the kind of like IT joke of like, have you tried turning it off and back on again? Like, it's a complete reset for the system, because for that moment in time, the flow of power from the sun is going to be interrupted to the whole system. And so this is a huge opportunity to reset. Literally, it's like pushing the reset button. So it's a huge opportunity to reset in our system, and also to release anything that has not been serving us, and anything that we don't want to keep carrying forward, right? Because one of the benefits to when you turn the system off is that then when you turn it back on, you have the ability to choose what you're going to carry forward with you over that disruption, through that disruption of energy. And so solar eclipses are really powerful moments for that. Now, this solar eclipse is even more supercharged in this particular aspect because it is happening in the sign of Aries. It's happening at the final degree of the sign of Aries. So it happens right before the sun leaves Aries. And so it is actually happening at the most kind of mature point of the Aries energy, the most fully formed of the Aries energy. And remembering that Aries, the archetype of energy of Aries, is the sacred warrior. And so Aries is calling each and every one of us to step into our sacred path and to pick up our sword that we are going here to forge our purpose. And every single person on this planet has at least one major mission to accomplish, right? We all have something to give. We all have our own unique gifts and our own unique individuality and our own unique purpose. And so a lot of the time we lose sight of this for all kinds of reasons in our lives. And this Aries eclipse is here to call us back to that. And not just to call us back to that, but to help us eliminate any aspect inside or outside of ourselves that is holding us back from that, right? And this is the benefit of that new moon eclipse combo, because we may have limiting beliefs inside ourselves or toxic patterns of thought and behavior that we want to let go of at this new moon time, or we may have a structure in our manifest life that is holding us back, a job, a relationship, any other kind of structure in our actual external life that is holding us back from that purpose. And this year in particular, with the way all the planets are working towards, this year in particular is really going to not tolerate the maintenance of structures that are stopping us from our true purpose. And if we don't let them go, they'll get removed. And so you may experience that disruption around the eclipse time. You may receive an understanding of what you need to shift, and you may take that action. You may then have the power, feel the power to take that action yourself. Or it may just get taken out of your life for you. And, you know, but the nice thing is given the combination of energies, you can have faith that whatever shifts are happening at this time are really working actually for you, for your true you. But that being said, you know, the energy around a solar eclipse is always enormous. And this particular solar eclipse is really intense because it's also coming in really close proximity with the planet of Jupiter. It's also coming in opposition with the planet of Pluto, which is the planet of death and rebirth. Jupiter is the planet of expansion and good fortune. So you can see the death and rebirth theme, as well as the expansion and new beginning theme, is enormous right now. It's very powerful energy for this. In fact, it's overlapping. All the planets and all the signs that relate to this particular energy are all involved in this eclipse. So it's super augmented. And on the one hand, you know, you may feel like, yes, I'm ready to charge ahead, but don't bypass the letting go. Because eclipses, as they are, solar eclipses, as they are falling in the new moon, and it is a disruption of the sun's light, really actually call for us to come to stillness and to come to quiet. And so before we can actually take the right action in our lives, we need to come to stillness, and we need to move from that place of stillness, because if we are moving from a place of movement, we will create chaos. And so this is an ideal time to really engage in rest, quiet reflection. Meditation is an excellent tool at this time. And then when the sun's light returns, it is actually going to return in Taurus. So it will cross over into Taurus during the eclipse. And when the sun when its light returns to the system, it will be filtering through a different lens. A new beginning already there for us. And as we are on the other side of the eclipse, as the moon starts to grow again and the sun's light is shining through Taurus again, we will start to feel a renewed sense of activity, of vigor, especially because Taurus is the sign that is very associated with our physical world, our creature comforts, luxuries, physical pleasure and enjoyment, but also finances. And so we can expect to see and relationships, romantic relationships. So we can expect to see a lot of particular emphasis in this eclipse around those themes as well. How those two themes interplay, what in our finances, our profession, our physical life, our physical health, our bodies, and our romantic or other relationships are holding us back from who we are meant to be, and what inside ourselves, in our relationship with ourselves and with those things inside ourselves. Because remember, our external world is a reflection of our internal world. So if there is something that is out of alignment in your external world, it was produced by something that is out of alignment inside you. So all of those themes and what's holding us back from our pursuing our mission and living our mission are really going to be called up this week. And so it can be a lot, and there can be a lot of feelings, and so I really recommend meditation. In fact, we are so supportive of meditation this week that we are holding a special meditation just for this, to help you release and let go, using the element of fire to help release and let go and transform yourself in these eclipse energies, so that then when the light does come back and as we transition forward, you're ready to take action from that place of stillness, and you can be more deliberate about that. And it will be a choice instead of a reaction, right? Now, there is a Mercury retrograde starting on Friday, at the day after the eclipse. The eclipse is actually happening overnight in our hemisphere. So some people are saying that it's happening on Wednesday. Some people are saying it's happening on Thursday, but it's because it's actually happening overnight, and so it depends on what time zone you're in. But Friday, Mercury is going to go retrograde, and it's our first retrograde of the year, and it is in Taurus. So this is very interesting combination of energies. Mercury is the planet that it's a very personal planet. It governs our communication, and in some ways it governs our movement in life, and it also our mental capacity, or our mental faculties, our thought processes. It's also the planet of magic and the intellect, both things at the same time, because they're not mutually exclusive. And so in Taurus, we're going to see a special emphasis on finances, as well as communication and relationships, and also communication with ourselves. How do we talk to ourselves? How do we treat ourselves? Self-love is going to be a huge theme in this Mercury retrograde, and all retrogrades are opportunities to slow down. So when we are coming straight out of a solar eclipse and landing straight into a retrograde in the planet of motion, this could be a good sign that we are going to want to take things slowly for the next couple of weeks, because we have the opportunity. What this solar eclipse is going to tear down is what's standing in our way, right? And so we have the opportunity to then build on a clean slate, on a clean foundation. And we now have the choice to build quickly and hastily, and out of desperation, or to build slowly and deliberately, consciously, conscientiously, thinking about what it is we want to sustain for the long term, what is really aligned with what we want to be creating in our lives. And that is what this Mercury retrograde is really going to be calling us to do, because Taurus is also a very practical sign. It's a very grounded sign. It's a sign that is oriented towards the physical existence. And so anything that is stopping your forward motion in your physical existence is going to be really called up by this Mercury retrograde, because you have the opportunity, fresh out of this eclipse, to really make enormous shifts in those areas if you are aware right? So we want to have that awareness. We want to cultivate that awareness now, this week, in stillness, so that then we can implement that awareness deliberately, consciously, sustainably in the next couple of weeks over the course of this retrograde. And we can come out the other side really ready for something new and incredible and beautiful. So I hope that this helped. And if you have any questions, or if you are struggling, please feel free to reach out. I will post the link to registration for our meditation for tomorrow on Thursday with this video. And this is a great opportunity to use really ancient practice. It's accessible to all people. Set a new rhythm in your life. This is a great time to start new habits as well. And come to stillness, do some self-care, get some clarity, let go, and move through this eclipse feeling refreshed.